Over to you, Helga.
Over to you, Helga. We're live.
Good morning, hello, good evening, good afternoon. While you're joining us, sales shakers, rainmakers, and icebreakers. This is not your weather channel. You've tuned in right. This is Sales TV live for you today. Amazing to have you here with us. Welcome. It's wonderful to have you join us. We're going to have in studio at Cranfield Turner Studios. We have the wonderful Alex Abbott and Andy Hoff. They're here to join us to kick up the conversation about energy and passion. Woo. Are you ready? Over to you.
I'm not sure we picked the right person to host this, actually.
No, I'm not sure either.
It was borderline. Morning, everyone. Energy and passion in sales. Where's that little fine line between too much and too little?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have Adam Gray because we would be able to put two ends of the spectrum, Helga on one end, Adam on the other, and you could decide where you want to be on that line. Helga, come on, talk us through whether we need energy and passion in sales or not.
Well, I personally find it indispensable to show your passion. If you're not passionate about what you are talking about, how you serve your customers, how you help them to achieve amazing results that move the needle for them, that help them to stand out, to beat the competition, then, how can they be excited to be talking with you? But I do feel that there is more to just saying passion and energy are important. I really do find that there's a bit of a pyramid relationship here, where at the base of it we've got how you feel as an individual, how healthy you are, your family status, sport, your hobbies, are you resting enough, even your housing situation, there is so many factors at the base of what creates and at the source of your energy and passion in whatever you do. And then as you go up this pyramid and you start looking at who you work for, what's your leadership like? What's the culture of the company like? What's the ethical behavior within your company? And then ultimately, all of this leads, in my personal opinion, to the peak of everything, which is at the core of your energy and your passion. And it's one thing, in my view, it's the motivation. What is your internal, external, intrinsic motivation? And what is your internal, intrinsic motivation? That is at the core, in my view, of your energy and passion. What do you think?
Wow. Well, what I think is when I saw this, when Andy and I were talking yesterday, and he was telling me that we're going to have you host this session, I thought, A, this is going to be amazing. And B, I couldn't get this song out of my head. Do you know the one I mean? More passion, more energy, more footwork.
I'm glad you actually sung that, because I thought when you were doing this, it's like, how's Helga going to guess that song with just a hand movement? It's a book, it's a play. It's like, no, here we go again. No, you know what? I think you unpacked a ton of stuff, which I completely agree with. So your intrinsic and extrinsic motivations and your behaviours. But starting off, Adam apparently has got out of bed, and he's hit you straight away, Helga, with if you aren't excited about what you do, why should the customer be excited about what you do? What do you think about that?
Good point.
Well, yeah, I think I if I recall, those are exact my same words I said right off the bat. So I'm with you. Is it Sam? Adam? Who's just
Adam.
woken up into
Adam Gray.
Thank you for joining us. No, I'm completely in agreement. However, I think there's a nuance to this, and I find it's very important. The buyer today, what do they get excited about? It's not necessarily your enthusiasm. I think there's something else behind it. And it's the knowledge and the value that that person is receiving while talking with you. You can be a more, tempered person. You could be a less kind of out showmanship type person, and that's okay. But what comes out of your mouth, what you reveal to your customer, how you control a sales conversation, how you drive and you waltz, hey, cha-cha-cha, Alex, how you cha-cha-cha your customer through the process of selling and buying and decision making, and the value that you deliver in each interaction, that's something that the customer can be excited about. And so, I think there's two ways of looking at this.
Yeah, I think in sales though, part of our role is to sort of judge the situation that we're in with the buyer, the recipient that we're talking to, and balancing the passion and the energy. Because not everyone wants to feel the energy, but actually here's a question for you. Can you have passion without energy, or energy without passion in sales, or do you feel like the two have to come hand in hand?
Oh, I would imagine that there are different levers that go side by side. So let's say, for example, and I love this point you made, actually, Alex, because when I think about passion and energy, when you are, depending on the stage of the sales conversation you're at and how your client or prospect is behaving towards you, and you understanding, having the emotional intelligence to read that behavior and into those words that come out of his mouth or her mouth, then you're able to push and pull those levers accordingly. We are chameleons in sales. And so sometimes you see how now my voice is really demonstrating that passion, but in a very serious way.
I feel afraid.
And so
I feel very afraid. And I've only just got over the cha-cha-cha in sales.
You will listen to me.
Okay. Give me a quick car.
These levers that you push and pull, emphasize with tone, with gesticulation. I don't even know if that word exists.
Does
but
now.
With mannerisms, with the way you elongate or shorten your words. Is that passion? Is that energy? I think they're just two different fuels that are needed in order for you to engage more or less, but always kind of wanting to influence and inspire the client to be the protagonist, to be the hero, to be the one at the center of the conversation. And I think that's how you can kind of juggle both these factors.
But that's fact, because I've just been hit by this thought. I don't get them very often. Simon Sinek on YouTube, widely available. Sales is like dating. When's the last time you always want to go out on a date that's got some energy and some passion in it, don't you? You don't want to go out on a date and sit there with some monotoned person talking about their stamp collection. You want to go out with somebody who's going, you know what, this is great, this is what I do, and this is what we could go to the cinema and watch this at the weekend or whatever it is. And you kind of go, yeah, you're right. It is exactly, it's just this human behaviour, isn't it? It's like, so let me tell you about my product.
Stamp collector, of course.
Yeah, there's always that. Thank you for bringing your intrinsic quiet motivation to the conversation. It's like, how many stamp collectors have you dated in your entire life? Like, not that I have anything against stamp collectors, by the way. That is, we are an inclusive world in sales. So if there's stamp collectors out there who want to be in sales, come on in. But it's like that, isn't it? It's like, I look at it and go, yeah, you're right. It is about the passion, and it is about the energy that you bring in your personal life. If you give people energy, they want to hang out with you. If you take it away from them, they don't want to hang out with you. So it's almost as an equation, isn't it? How much do you bring to that interaction with your people, with your customers, or how much do you take from them? Because who the hell wants to be in a conversation with somebody where they feel drained after it?
Yeah.
Well, I think time is everything. I think timing is everything. If you are on a date, and I haven't dated in a while, FYI, but
is that just in case your husband's watching? Haven't dated in a while. Honest, darling. It's like, we won't get onto Alex's love life in a minute. All right, we'll stay clear of that.
Let's just imagine that you fancy this person for a very long time. This is what I would do, right? Let's just say, in a hypothetical world, I fancy this person a lot, and I want to, and I have the opportunity to go on a first date with them. But let's just imagine that this person has just been going through a period of a slump. They've been going through a slump period. And so they're feeling depressed, they're feeling miserable. And you kind of stepping into this date full of energy and passion might just kind of put the person out of sorts, And so I do feel that you do need to have an incredible amount of emotional intelligence to read the situation and tread around it carefully. That's not to say that you're subduing your own personality, but what you're doing is you're respecting where this person is coming from. And so I would probably start the date asking, how have you been feeling following this time, this difficult period? How have you been feeling? How do you feel now? Where are you at now? And so I'm trying to subtly, in a subtle way, really understand where this person is at, because at the right time, whether it's a little bit more gently or a little bit harder with a little bit more enthusiasm, it's like those push and pull levers, right, that Alex was talking about. You adjust them so you can just hit the person, shower them with the right enthusiasm at the right time. You do have to read the situation. What you cannot do, just like a doctor, is let that slump and that negativity and that maybe even toxicity that the person may have impact you personally, because then you're letting yourself be influenced by all that negativity, and you don't want that.
I'm just seriously loving this. I mean, Neil has put out a comment here. It's difficult not to be engaged by an enthusiastic, upbeat person in any situation, not just selling. And he's right. But that's to your point, Helga, you've got to do it with some level of emotional intelligence. You can't just go, the cat died this morning. It's like, anyway, let me tell you this story. It's just like, not that I've done that in any way, shape or form. Is
it all right? I have a question for Alex and for you. Okay. I know Alex, when it comes to social selling, he's the guru, he's the man, he's the dude. So, Alex, how does one bring energy and passion and enthusiasm and energy onto this sphere of social selling? Help us out with that.
Yeah, that's a great question, because when I read Roal's comment about him being an introvert, I feel like I am more naturally introverted, but I do try hard to kind of, exude some passion and energy in what I do. And so the fact that we're on the sofa here today talking about this is great, because I think you can be passionate and demonstrate that you're energetic without being like over the top. And so, through the work that I'm doing around social selling and storytelling, just in the way that I write, I try and get that across, enthusiastic, positive. The fact that you kind of persistently talking about things that you believe in demonstrates that you're passionate about that. And I think some degree of energy can come off that. Trying new formats, like video and photos of yourself smiling and being happy, I think demonstrates that as well.
So it's not just about the facial hair and the man bun then?
No, I mean, you tell me.
I don't know.
What is the...
I don't know. It's the way you stroke it. I've got no idea. It's like...
Yeah. Apparently, having a beard, and this is some research that I read before.
Oh, please do share.
Having a beard kind of gives off this more wise, more mature feel. But, Who
told you that?
Don't let me...
Someone with a beard.
Yeah, 50 bearded blokes.
Gandalf. Just like, yeah. Okay, I get it now. It's like somebody told me wearing tweed jackets in the university was a good idea as well. They had the guy in the tweed jacket with the leather on the arm. Yeah.
I think the top knot negates it though. you know.
But what's really interesting in this is to, and I know we're going to be talking about it this afternoon with Jeff in terms of mental health.
Yeah.
You know, we've picked about this topic today, which is actually leading us to have fun, which is this odd thing. And talking to a person we all know, Guy Lloyd, we talked about kind of mental health issues, and I don't want to kind of go into that in a big way here, but what he said about sales and why, therefore, loving what you do and being passionate about it and bringing in energy is really important, because there's this piece of study that can't leave it at home. It's a paper that looks at job stress, financial stress, health stress, and before a seller walks through the door, you've got those kind of problems, and then sales can kind of exacerbate those mental health problems. But actually then Guy threw this really interesting piece into it, which is actually that's an incomplete kind of view of a seller, because they can't leave it at work either. Now, if you look at a doctor, when you finished your shift, the doctor, somebody else comes in and carries on what you're doing. It's not like everything stops or you have to take the patient at home. And there's a lot of professions where fundamentally somebody else has got your back while you're not there. So you kind of get that downtime. You might worry a bit. But if you're in sales, no one's looking after your deal when you've gone home. No one's looking after all of those aspects of how you get that next meeting.
Yeah.
And so it's almost this 24/7 nagging irritation of it's you and you alone to get the deal across the line. But actually that leads you back to, if you're not passionate about what you're doing, you're never going to get energy out of yourself. And that I think has got to be one where, you know, sales leaders and people have to take that semi-serious point of how do you really help people understand, support them, but also make it a bit of a fun environment. Because no one's going to die if you don't get the deal across the line. No one's theoretically going to actually, you know, have a bad day. Yeah, you're going to feel bad about not getting the deal, but have some fun.
I was thinking this morning on the way over here about that point, but through the lens of a Formula One driver, and the fact that they have to perform at their peak throughout their career. And whilst they might not be winning races, they still have to ensure that from a psychological perspective, from a health perspective, from a fitness perspective, they're at their best. But they have this entire team of people supporting them, helping them be the best that they can be. Yet in sales, and I've had this myself, there's resentment for salespeople, or there has been in the past, and I've felt that, I've experienced that. It's like, oh, you're the sales guy, you know, you have all the fun, you get all the commission. And I think if, I'd love to get your view on this, but I think that if the dynamic changed, if the view of salespeople changed internally, they could get more support to address that point that problem that you raise.
It's really interesting. If you talk to Phil Jones at Brother, he did a thing about 3 years ago with the ISP's Forerunner, and he talked about crossing a chasm for him, which is he was always seen as the sales leader. And this is public, so I'm not actually outing him or anything about this, but he was always seen as the sales leader that had too much fun. It was you charge that machine gun post, we can all go away to club, blah, blah, blah. And to your point, people went, well, they're not around business people. He's never going to be able to take that leap to be CEO. Now he did, because he developed himself and he's a brilliant leader, and he gives a huge amount of energy and a lot of stuff. But you think, to your point, right, people just go, you know what, they go to club, they have a great time, they're driving flash cars. And I think that point of, actually it's pretty tough, and some of those things are to feel good about yourself and to make yourself and give yourself energy and a level of passion about what you do. I think really importantly, and back to you, Helga, is actually how do we give people permission, coming into sales, to do and have a bit of fun and show them that this is it's great, and you're going to meet tons of people, and if you're massively inquiring, you're going to go out and have a great time understanding and meeting a wide variety of people, understanding what's going on with them, and have the viewpoint, see the funny side all the time. It's you're going to make a shed load of mistakes.
Yeah, it's okay to fail. Yeah.
Well, just to pick up on that point, I love that you are both kind of heading in this direction, because when you think about what's needed to have fun anywhere, I think factors like being confident and knowledgeable are fundamental. So when you know what you're talking about and you know how to engage and initiate and engage and advance a sales conversation, when you work and develop the right hard skills and soft skills, so hard skills like prospecting and discovery and overcoming objections effectively, and then soft skills like learning how to ask powerful questions and having empathy and developing active listening and emotional intelligence. Only when you have those things in place can you start to really see you becoming or you growing within yourself the type of confidence that just allows you to exude natural passion and energy. Let's not forget that a lot of people that go night clubbing and entertaining clients and doing all sorts of fun things, there is a dark world behind it. I know. I worked in the city for 17 years. Okay. And I know how, a lot of mental problems can develop when you're under the type of pressure that many salespeople today, even now listening to us, are under. And so energy and passion can also be faked. Right? And energy and passion can be manipulated, because depending on the culture and ethical behavior of your company, you might be encouraging people to be motivated. Here I go again with the word motivation. You can encourage them to be motivated in very different ways.
Yeah, but then back to your point about this intrinsic kind of inner glow, I've been there where working in the city, quote unquote, where I've still been incredibly successful, but I'm drinking too much. I'm playing too hard.
Yeah.
That inner kind of light was still there, but it's not until
Heavily diluted,
and it's not until, so I'd say I was still passionate and energetic, but now I've chosen to stop drinking. I'm choosing to eat healthy. I still feel like I'm passionate and energetic, but it's surprising how much more energy, mental energy I have.
Absolutely.
And I wish I'd have done it before. But,
it's a learning process. We grow. Nobody teaches us these things. And if they were trying to, we probably wouldn't be listening, because each one of us have to do our own journey. What I love about what I am today is how my intrinsic motivation helps me to endure things that would probably my past self would have given up. Being an entrepreneur is very different than being a seller. Okay, being an entrepreneur is so much more. There's so many more things. You are an entrepreneur when you are a seller. If anybody out there is kind of saying, "But hold on, Helga," yes. But in practice, there are differences. And so when you are an entrepreneur and everything depends on you, you do find yourself asking, why am I doing this? Shall I just throw in the towel? Or, people are not really responding, or I wish I was over here, I'm only over here. And you can miss this sense of gratitude as you carry on this journey. And that's when your intrinsic motivation kicks in. I have never been so proud of doing things that I'm doing now. For example, one of them, serving the Lusophone Portuguese-speaking community. It makes me so proud to be out there and engaging with Portuguese speakers, professionals and leaders in sales in Portugal, in Brazil, in Angola. It gives me the kind of pride and enjoyment and just natural flair for what they're doing. And these are things that I search. And even here, doing this program, for example, I woke up excited to be doing this, to be sitting here with you guys, to have the opportunity to speak with this audience. And so it's so much, it's this onion that has so many layers, right?
I think this goes back to a point that was it Neil was making about the energy and the passion can carry people along. I remember when you and I first spoke, we only just met several weeks ago, and it's like, damn, I want to spend some more time with this girl.
Is that a date? Was that a date? Or was that a virtual date?
I did. Don't worry, I've got your back, Alex. No, I've got your back, mate.
I'm just asking.
I got your back.
It's just like, I just thought, I mean, the viewers out there are probably asking the same questions, so I thought I'd better ask.
It's just you.
Sounds like a date
just you in your mind.
Oh dear. Yeah, that's killed that stone.
It's okay, anyway. Andy, if Helga likes me more than
yeah. Well,
you
she's only human. She's only human, mate. It's absolutely fine. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm comfortable with myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's but I think it's really interesting in terms of to Neil's point. I've seen a lot of people in like leadership teams, and sometimes I've gone, how the hell are they still there? In terms of you kind of look at them and go, not quite sure what they bring, but what they do is they keep the work self very low, but they keep themselves as the energy givers very high. And there's always one, isn't there, that is in a board who you kind of go, right, but you know why the CEO keeps them around? Because actually as a CEO or a really senior person, where do they get their energy from? Because everyone just brings them problems all the time. And actually, if you've got someone who's going to give you that energy and going to say, what, we can do this, and being able to kind of bring that, there's a real value in having somebody in the team.
There is, but you've just triggered a thought in my mind in terms of energy and passion as a leader, and that affecting your ability to grow in your leadership positions. Is it not seen as a negative? He or she is too...
There's a bunch of research now, without getting too academical about it, but about quiet ego, and I'm sure there'll be a bit about quiet passion, and it's about having enough reserves out of all of these things that you allow other people to have the emotional space and area in which to grow and be in that meeting and be in that room. But there are times when you wouldn't need to. So if you're on stage in front of 10,000 people, at a kick-off or something like that, you need to be doing something that's going to project huge amount of passion out. But if you're in a room where there's 5 of you, you probably don't want to be doing that.
Yeah.
But I love the whole kind of the rule, be yourself.
Yeah.
There were times when I sat in meetings and I just thought, I know the answer is probably more professional, but somebody once asked me so who are buying these things? And I just said, well, customers mainly.
Yeah.
And the entire room descended into laughter. And luckily the president who asked me the question just went, well, I asked for that and that's fine. And it was like, okay, but it was just like, you've just got to be yourself.
Yeah. To Helga's question earlier about social selling, that's the fundamental. You have to be yourself. There's things that I do that I'm sure will make others feel incredibly uncomfortable.
There's a list.
I've walked into that one.
Where would you like us to start? Chris, can we reset the clock, please? We need another half an hour.
But it's important just to be yourself. Otherwise, it'll just feel like too much hard work.
You just walked into that with a big banner going, "Have a joke on me." So, Helga, we're running up to time. So, do you want to close out for us as the host? Yeah.
I do. Well, it's been amazing having you join us today. Andy, Alex, you guys are rocking it every minute of the day. Thank you so much for welcoming me in this role. I suppose just one last thought from me, which is when you're energetic and you're passionate, you're giving your body to the bullets, as we say in Portugal. Please come watch us again. Join us again next time soon. We are here for you, and sell with value until then. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Helga.
I'm crying. Brilliant.
is where Toby comes in and goes,